Now we're gonna talk about those Miami Dolphins, the ones in the 305. What's that? Oh man. Yep.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins.
That
All
just
right,
made
all
my
right.
stomach turn upside down. I gotta say, y'all
This
probably got one of the worst. I don't know what that is, but yeah,
It's
it's
a
just
fight. It's called a fight
yeah,
song.
the
So
fight
it's
song
our
is
fight
just
song.
yeah,
Listen, all right,
yeah.
whatever.
I'm not gonna lie. That fight song is kind of that is
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
it sucks. It
Y'all
sucks.
chance when I went there
It
three,
sucks.
4 years ago.
It
Yeah,
sucks.
that was terrible. Like
Miami.
it was terrible. I love y'all stadium. I love y'all stadium, but y'all chants are horrible. It
Oh
ain't even
man,
hype.
listen, listen. The
it's like you could tell it was from like back in the day. Like
Yeah, like
it's
yeah,
not.
it's
It hasn't been
outdated.
tweaked.
yeah,
You need-
yeah.
like y'all have
It,
like some off the chain dance routines, like the cheerleaders and stuff like that. Like to have like just y'all performances, y'all be killing it. But
yeah,
that
man.
whack.
Yeah,
Like, come on, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
It's,
with the Miami Hurricanes, like look, it's all about the we got all of them like just chants
we
and
were
stuff like that, and
look.
I don't
It
know.
was. Listen, it was during the Beach Boy times.
Yeah,
We. Yeah.
it's probably why you haven't been you know relevant.
All right, all right, all right, all
But
right.
anyways, back to the Miami Dolphins. We're gonna make them back A1 in this episode. So go ahead, Spence, lead us off. Tell us what the Miami Dolphins need to do, starting with free agency, then the draft, what the team needs are, so they can become relevant again.
Well, gentlemen, as I believe this orange and teal like is my life. Free agency. Well, we gotta make room for Cap. And so Kyle Van Noy, yeah, great season. We gotta let you go because that money's killing us.
Which I mean, Miami wasn't like we're not below the cap or anything. Like we're good,
No,
but I get it.
we're good.
I get it.
We Van Gankel had a lot of fumbles this season that we did not expect. So I don't think we're going to use him like starting wise, but they're considered like, hey, maybe just in case. But we're trying to get pieces. We're really trying to get big pieces this year. We got close. Other than Vic's juju on us that made us lose. Um,
Y'all was doing fine before
no,
any of
bro.
that. Like,
No, bro. Ever since you endorsed us,
I endorsed
so,
y'all. I
so, so,
endorsed the
so,
Arizona
so,
Cardinals
And they both
and
missed
the
the
and they
Washington
playoffs.
both missed
and the
playoffs.
They both
And
and
missed
they
the
the
both
playoffs.
missed
Washington
playoffs.
and the
And they
Washington
both missed
football
playoffs.
team.
If their divisions don't even count, they're supposed to miss playoffs.
Yeah, they shouldn't even went to the
Don't
playoffs.
even supposed to even look at playoffs
Well,
with that record.
y'all clearly didn't deserve to be in the playoffs because y'all got beat down
And
by the Bills.
anyways, back to free agency. So we're trying to get big names. I was the running. I keep forgetting his name. The running back from Green Bay.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Why I keep forgetting that? Yeah,
Number
Aaron
40.
Jones. We were they according to sources, very
It's
interested.
mutual
Mutual,
interest.
mutual interest. So I would love that. That would fix one part, I believe. We still don't really have a wide receiver one. Cool, Devontae Parker is getting up there in reps and everything, but he's that injury prone. That's the only thing that kills me. That thing that kills me. Grant and Wilson will always be slots, and Preston Williams, of course, he has the height and everything. It's just gonna is more development for him. Gesicki's having a great year, but we're gonna have to use more productivity. Other than that draft, the 30 and 18. Man, it's just really what we're trying to focus on. Really, if we're getting the wide receiver that in the draft, number 3 maybe 18. You can probably still pull it, but it depends on what you really need on it. For what their needs, I see, like I said, on offense is really a running back, wide receiver, one that really locked down, and of course, anything on the line could help. Defensive, middle linebacker. I think that's one of the positions I feel like is kind of iffy right there. It's just that, of course, with like age and we're trying to get younger, that's the only thing so far. I mean, other than that, that's all I really see right now. I mean, there could be some interesting names that come out. I mean, Kyle Rudolph just got released from the Vikings, so like I don't know, but that's for tight ends though. But I gotta keep looking. But that's all I got for right now.
All right, Trey.
So you said we didn't deserve to make the playoffs, right? I heard you say that.
I mean, based off that week 17 loss, yeah, y'all didn't deserve to make the playoffs.
Whatever. We lost when you endorsed us.
I mean, they went 10-6 and missed the playoffs, so I'll take that.
Hey, y'all weren't supposed to get that close anyway. Y'all weren't even supposed to be that good.
Anyway,
that's a big season.
We should have played Baltimore week 17. We would definitely beat them. But anyways,
y'all got lost. We was on the street.
Please,
y'all lost to the Patriots.
Well, it's all right.
Out my face.
Anyways, though, it's clear that everything this draft, this offseason, for the most part, needs to be on the offensive side of the ball. To be obviously, the defense ranked 6 overall in the league, top 10 defense. Brian Flores, defensive-minded coach, as I keep saying, I believe he is the person that is going to bring Miami to relevancy. Been through a lot of regimes, a lot of head coaches, a lot of, just it's been a lot. Quarterbacks, you name it. Like, there's been not a lot of stability in Miami over the last 20 years, something like that. So, yeah, Brian Flores, I think that was the start of a new regime, a new wave for Miami. And you saw that from year one, as far as the defense, at least towards the end of the year, they caught on. They beat New England, forced them to go to the wild card, which essentially I feel like that's what, the domino effect of why Tom Brady left the Patriots and everything. So, but that's a whole different discussion. But nonetheless, I can say that since Flores has gotten there, Miami has pretty much, they've improved every year significantly, right? Okay, so defense side of the ball, like I said, 6 overall. Not bad. Offense, though, 18th. So that's where the issue is. Run game was non-existent. I can name about, I think, 6 running backs that started the game or played last season, none of which really kind of pretty much did anything to say that we have a running back, to say that they got Matt Breida from San Francisco. I thought that was going to be a big move. That didn't pan out.
We got Jordan Howard. I
didn't like that move from the beginning. I know by his numbers, production-wise, people said that was going to be a good move, but that definitely, he didn't do anything. You had
Gaskins, yeah.
Which he's not horrible, but he's definitely not a every down running back. He's a good receiving back. I keep him like as a spell or something like that, maybe a third down back, but he basically, the run game was non-existent. Traded for the kid from the Raiders. And then there was another kid, what is it, Ahmad? Like I said, there were like 6 running backs in the rotation.
Right, Ahmad,
it was just
Ahmad.
like it didn't matter who got in. There just wasn't a run game. Run game was non-existent. That's the gist of what I'm getting to. So running back is a key need. So Aaron Jones, the fact that there's mutual interest, the fact that we have the money, I feel like that would take care of one big problem. And the fact that he's a receiving back, I feel like that will help Tua. So now there's a lot of talk about Tua, right? It's a lot of uncertainty and this and that, right? And the Dolphins should pull the trigger and go get Deshaun Watson, which I'd be all for that. Don't get me wrong. Deshaun Watson is a beast. But I feel like with the assets that the Dolphins have, you got pick number 3, pick 18, 2 seconds, and then the 82nd overall pick. So what's that? That's 5 picks within the top 82 picks. You can really make some noise. And then essentially, depending if you're going to stick with Tua at pick 3, if you know that a lot of teams are looking for a quarterback, you could essentially move down a couple slots and acquire more picks to, and still get the player that you potentially want. But what I think at 3, you can go one or two ways. Like Spence said, wide receiver definitely has to be addressed. Need a number one sure thing wide receiver. Miami hasn't had that in years. Well, since Jarvis Landry left, I'll say that. Since Jarvis, since Juice left. So, a lot of people keep talking about the kid from Bama,
right?
But Smith.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, but I think after the comments that came out, which he wasn't wrong in his comments about Tua, which I understand his comments, right? They asked him who was a better quarterback, Mac Jones or Tua. He said hands down it was Mac Jones. But you got to understand, when Tua was the quarterback, who were his main receivers? Jerry Jeudy and Jalen Waddle. So he wasn't really, a big part of Tua's success.
But they also ran a spread offense too, so he's definitely
granted, I'm saying that he did play with Tua, but you got to look at his big success when Jeudy and them boys. You got to also factor in the fact that you can argue the reason he even had the success is Jeudy wasn't there anymore and Waddle was hurt. But that's nonetheless the person who was throwing him the balls where he won the Heisman. Guess who it was? Matt Jones. So of course he's going to say that. So I don't take offense to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't take it as offense to that, but to me, I think the best, I won't say the best receiver, well, probably the best receiver would be the kid from LSU, actually. Might be
Jamar Chase.
Yes. Because Jamar Chase more or less probably would have been the top receiver that would have came out last year's draft had he decided to declare, but he decided to come back. Not taking anything away from Smith, I'm just saying Waddle was hurt this year because Waddle was clearly a better receiver than you were if we're looking at the season prior. And then Jamar Chase, obviously, like I said, he probably would have been the top receiver. But I guess you can't go wrong at either one. Also, but if you want to go O-line again, which the Dolphins started 3 rookie offensive linemen last year. So that's something to factor in. So while they improved from 32nd overall on the O-line in 2019, 2020, they made the jump all the way to number 30. Congratulations. That's progress, right?
Hey. It's progress.
Yeah, but nonetheless, do you want to add another young lineman to that line? I mean, it will solidify everything, I guess, for Tua, but I feel like you can get a lineman at 18 if it's me. I feel like you go for that surefire receiver if I'm doing it, if I'm making the selections. I'm taking the receiver at 3 or maybe at 5 if I trade back to, let somebody that wants a quarterback take pick 3 or, like I stated, potentially you could do. But Gonna have some money to spend. Besides Aaron Jones, there was a rumor floating out there about one Levante David who would fix another problem that Spencer did address, which is our middle linebacker position. That definitely would help that. The only thing though, like you said, as far as the team trying to get younger, he is already, I believe, 31. So I'm not sure if they would go in that direction, looking short term or not. But
That's correct, by the way.
what? He's 31. Yeah.
He's 31. Yeah.
Yeah. So um but nonetheless, with two first round picks, 2 seconds, and then the remainder of their picks, as well as some flexibility with the cap room, I feel like you don't have to panic and go get Deshaun Watson like a lot of people. I feel like it's split. I feel like half of the fan base wants to just trade those picks away, and go get Deshaun Watson.
I get it.
I understand that.
I get it. I get it.
Because you're solidified at that point at the
And you're
quarterback
like-
position. You got a top 10 defense, but then you still have holes on the O-line. You still don't got a running back.
Yeah.
You still don't got a receiver. So yeah, you got Deshaun Watson, but now what? Tua, I believe if you put the right pieces around him, he's not a superstar yet, which Deshaun Watson is a superstar right now. But I feel like if you put the right pieces and build a foundation around Tua, he will become a superstar, and you'll be just fine in the long run.
Which I know wasn't a question or anything about this one, but the one thing I also want to stress is, man, we gotta have patience. There's gonna be some games that they just have his number. It's just inevitable. So, but we just got, I guess, in the words of Joel Embiid, just trust the process, I guess, of this.
Yeah, that's another thing though too. I'm glad you said that, because you gotta remember there were a couple games where they pulled him, and I feel like that stunts a quarterback's growth.
Right.
Every time he's in a position where it's not, I guess, a favorable position, you can't just bench him for the backup. Like, that's at some point that stunts the quarterback's confidence.
Right.
And they can't grow. Sometimes you're not the better team. Sometimes you're not the best team out there. So like, look at Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Some people, some teams have people.
Some people have your number. Sometimes it happens.
It happens.
For the fact that every time Tua struggled or whatever, they just benched him and ran back to Fitzpatrick, I don't think that helps him in the long run. And I honestly don't think that the Dolphins should have Fitzpatrick on the roster just for that reasoning, because you don't want that. You don't want to have that same situation. I need Tua to know that the team is his team going forward. I'm not saying you don't have a backup quarterback, because obviously you have to have a backup.
Of course, you gotta have the backup quarterback.
You don't have it be, I guess, somebody, I guess, of a veteran stature to that point, where he has to kind of like look over his shoulder or second guess anything.
Right. But yeah, it's just, man, just get a patient part. I get it. The Deshaun thing is like, we want to win now. We never thought we got this much. We were almost in the playoffs. We were like, oh man, we almost there. But nah, man, we just gotta just trust the process of this. Let us just build gradually. We're gonna get there. Just let it build gradually, and we're gonna be fine.
Me and Vick talked about this off the air or whatever, and I was like, one thing I can say that's constant about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens is that they don't really do a lot of flashy names in the free agency or anything. They typically build through the draft, and for the most part, yeah, we might have some years where we don't make the playoffs. That's both the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens, but we're never generally like the bottom of the league or anything like that. Like, we're still somewhat competitive. We built through the draft. Like, there's never like a rebuild mode for either team thus far, from what I've seen. Like,
Right.
They draft well, and they keep pushing pretty much for the most part.
Right.
This is the closest for Pittsburgh that I've seen in some time where I guess you could say it's kind of like a rebuild, but people thought that when we lost AB and Bell that everything was just going to go down the drain, and they still went 8-8. So, I mean, that's what I kind of want Miami to focus on. Don't trade the house, don't trade all the assets to go get Deshaun Watson because it's the appealing thing to do, or it'd be like the sexy thing to do. Everybody's saying just go do it, go get Deshaun Watson. Stick to your guns. You drafted to where you drafted him for a reason. Use these assets and these draft picks and build around him along with free agency. You can spend some money. I'm not saying don't spend money at all. Certain teams it works for them, certain teams it doesn't. But for the most part, you want to focus on building your foundation of the team through the draft. And as Spence said, trust the process.
Trust the process, man.
All right, so with all that y'all said, I like some of the moves that y'all made, the things that y'all felt like the team should do. Now, one thing I'd be really excited if I was a Miami Dolphins fan this offseason. There's a lot of possibilities, just like I said on the previous episode, of 1 to 2 year deals. But for me personally, what I would target first in free agency. Obviously, we've been hearing about the whole Aaron Jones. The Dolphins and Aaron Jones have mutual love for each other to say that they want possibly to make a deal done. Now, I would look into that, but I would also see how much he's asking in terms of money. I know that y'all have a good chunk of change, compared to most teams and cap space. But I would also look to see in running backs like Chris Carson and Marlon Mack. I know everybody forgot about Marlon Mack just because he got his, I think it was ACL or Achilles last year. But it'd be somebody, it would be somebody I would look at. But, depending on what Aaron Jones is talking, I would definitely consider him. But I feel
That's
like
my second choice.
I feel like not a lot of people have said anything about this. I know y'all looking for a receiver, but what better way to go into the draft than to get a receiver in free agency? One that I feel like nobody's talking about, Allen Robinson. He's proven to be a number one. He'd be a great receiver, probably have the best quarterback he's probably played with in his whole career. Allen Robinson would definitely be somebody that I would target to come to South Beach. And I think it would help out with the whole draft, just because you're not going into the draft going based off of just a sole need. Because y'all do need a running back, or a receiver. Y'all do need a running back, and y'all do need a middle linebacker. So I would target those two players. Now, if I could possibly get Levante David, that'd be great. Levante David, just for those that don't know, he's a Miami native. So it's not unrealistic as a Bucs fan to say that he wouldn't go down south to Miami just because, he's got a Super Bowl. He's played in Tampa. He loves it here in Tampa. But let's be real. He's from Miami. Miami's got a good thing going on right now. It's just, it's a hot spot. He already knows all the hot spots over there to say. If not, you got a KJ Wright. That's a free agent. Bearing that, if the Seattle Seahawks decide they want to re-sign him. Obviously, he's I don't know, he's 32.
Oh, okay.
He's 32. But, he's up there in age. But regardless, the Dolphins, they can draft a player, say in the second round. Draft a player, develop him behind KJ Wright, even though I know KJ Wright's not a middle linebacker, but, he's a linebacker outside, but he could possibly, help that young pup, which in this draft, first round from what I've been seeing is top heavy on the offensive skill position is being targeted in the first round. Second round, just because of the whole COVID year and all that stuff. Players not opting out of the season going into the draft. There's players that we won't be able to have take the combine and stuff like that. So I feel like somebody you could possibly get a steal in the second round. But going to the first round, staying on topic, I want to ask you both a question.
Sure.
What formation did y'all run out of most of the season for the Miami Dolphins? Meaning, was it 2 tight ends, 1 receiver, 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, 3 receivers, 1 tight end? What was y'all most common formation?
I want to say
Under Tua.
Yeah, because I would say it switched up based on if
Brian.
Fitzpatrick was in there, they kind of let things fly, but they protected Tua quite a bit more than they did with Fitzpatrick.
So I want to say 2 wide, 2 tight end set, I believe.
Okay, awesome, great. I'm glad y'all both said that. So this is my idea. I know this might not be a sexy pick, but I think it would be a great pick, either this or to trade back. So with either getting a running back in free agent and a receiver in free agent. So saying if y'all get Aaron Jones, you'll get Allen Robinson, right? All right, going to the draft. Now you still can, just because you have, questionable issues about Devontae Parker. His injury history obviously is out there. So if y'all decide y'all want to trade him away, y'all can, and y'all can just get Jamar Chase. But what if y'all decide, okay, we got Aaron Jones, we got Allen Robinson, we got Devontae Parker. We're having, we believe in Devontae Parker, that he's going to be good going forward.
Right.
What if y'all decide to go ahead and get that boy, Kyle Pitts from Pittsburgh? That tight. I know y'all got a tight end already. But 2 tight ends. You got Gesicki and Kyle Pitts. And Kyle Pitts, he can play both in the slot and on the line of scrimmage. So, and
you take him at 3 though.
Whether it's that or to trade back, just because there's a lot of teams trying to trade up to get a quarterback. So you could say for the first 5 picks, they're guaranteed. Or you get an offensive lineman, Penei Sewell from Oregon, that just to help out, with Tua Tagovailoa. But that's if y'all decide that, what, our offensive line is good. We, believe in what we got going on, because I don't know entirely how the offensive line is. I know that's something that y'all need to address.
I just told you.
So here's the
ranked 30.
Right.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Yeah. So here's the thing.
On the line, so you're gonna assume or hope that there's improvement, going forward. Next season,
I know there's a lot of players,
but yeah, 3 people started that were rookies, so you got to factor that in.
No offseason, no OTAs.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, with a full offseason this year and everything, hopefully there's some big improvement with those linemen. But
we're probably, if that's the case, if we're going to get another tight end set, we're probably going to get somebody that from probably free agency, so just for the experience, because I don't know if we can handle another rookie on a line.
Yeah, because we took Austin Jackson at tackle last year, and then Robert Hunt was the guard we took, and then what's the other dude's name? Solomon Kinley was another guard we took. So and they all 3 started last year. So
then I think the safest bet would be having to get the Oregon tackle, whatever his name is. I think that'd be the safest one. It's not the sexiest pick, but it's just, if that scenario happens, we gotta get Allen Robinson and Aaron Jones, solidify the running back position, solidify the receiver position, and that gives y'all room to where y'all can potentially trade back. But let these be known, the Cincinnati Bengals, I do, and this is kind of a spoiler, but Cincinnati Bengals, I do believe that they will select an offensive lineman with their 5th pick. So that's just something I was thinking about. I know it's not probably something where, Miami Dolphin fans are going to go crazy about, but, with the upside and the potential that this man has shown, Kyle Pitts, I think that would be a good security blanket for Tua. But at the same time, I know y'all have Gesicki. He shows some promise. Two good tight ends, not a bad thing, but it's just something I was just thinking like, that would be nice on paper, just seeing, obviously Tua, Gesicki, Allen Robinson, Devontae Parker, and Aaron Jones in the backfield. It'd be nice, but that's just more so like, a fantasy world, I guess.
Yeah.
I just kind of got excited about that, but I just like, hey, y'all look pretty nice with that. But Jamar Chase, obviously, he's probably like a clear cut best receiver in the draft. Well, not clear cut, but probably clear cut. In my opinion, I think he's the best receiver. But never know if the Jets decide they want to stay with that pick and they want to draft him. You got to think about your options. So something to think about. That's what I would do. Honestly, what I would do with the third overall pick though is get Sewell if they're not able to get a running back in free agency. Then with the next pick, which is the 18th overall pick, then I would try to see if Travis Etienne is there. If not, Najee Harris.
Yeah, no.
So I mean, one of those two would be a great selection. So that's what I would do if I was the Miami Dolphins.
Najee Harris is going to Pittsburgh.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
They have it project. I forgot they have y'all projected to take him. You better hope we get Aaron Jones. Anyways, that's it for me.
Well, all right. So
I got to make sure both sides eat.
Well,
don't get greedy on one side. All right, let's.
Listen, you got to focus on that. Me, on the other hand, I want it all.
There you go. Go ahead.
I want it all.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'd rather want that too. For the Pittsburgh Steelers not to get what they want. They just gave the breadcrumbs.
Well, you're just based on spite.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I say what I said. But
actually, hold on. What y'all do with Big Boy over there, though?
Big Boy.
Orlando. What's he doing? He don't want to be there, right? I know there's a lot of people who don't want to be in Baltimore right now, but I'm specifically talking about the offensive line.
He wants to be there. It's just he believes. Well, it's not he believes.
No, he said that. Tackle. Yeah, he's a left tackle.
So obviously we got Ronnie Stanley. He's our left tackle. It's the fact that we drafted two good offensive linemen. You can't have two left tackles. He wants to follow in the footsteps of his daddy, so I understand that. So he's living out to do what his dad said that he could be, a left tackle, and that's exactly what he wants. So that's what he's gonna get. So, I mean, it could be a good spot for the Miami Dolphins to potentially make a trade, get Baltimore, third overall pick, so we can get Jamar Chase. That'd be great.
I'm sorry. What? Make a what? Make a what?
To the Baltimore Ravens.
No.
Sounds like a great idea.
Before that, make a what?
A trade.
For what?
Orlando Brown Jr.
For what? From us?
What you mean from y'all? What? It's definitely got to be that first round pick. One of them.
You can keep that.
Whether
Anyway,
it's the
just move on.
pick or
I don't even want
third. One of the two. Actually, if it's the later one, it's got to be. I mean, we seen last year what happened.
You see me right now?
We seen last year with Jeremy.
You see me right now? My headphones is off. That means I can't hear nothing you saying right now. Because
you ain't got to listen. Just know that could happen.
But realistically, though, we took Austin Jackson, right? And he's only gonna be a second year player. So if he's persistent on playing left tackle, he can go to left tackle, and you can easily put Austin Jackson at right tackle and call it a day. And then the line is pretty much solidified.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
He's a good run blocker, a good pass blocker too. So He's
Just
definitely held
saying.
up his end. It wasn't much. It wasn't even. It wasn't even a drop off when Ronnie Stanley got injured against Pittsburgh Steelers. So, uh, you know, I mean, that's something for the Baltimore Ravens to decide, and Miami as well, if they do have mutual interest. But if not, show moves on. So we got the state of the Atlanta Falcons.